The dog had never licked her face before, not once in 2 years. Ines Kabakov had been an emergency room nurse for 11 years. She had triaged everything from chest pain to febrile seizures to anaphylaxis at 3 a.m. She knew what real distress looked like in a child. She had built her whole identity as a parent around the certainty that nothing important would slip past her. Their German shepherd was named Rainer. Calm, trained, quiet around the toddler from day one. He had developed exactly one habit since Ines's daughter May was born. He stayed within 3 feet of her, but he never touched her. On a Saturday in October, May was 26 months old. She was sitting on the rug with a stacking cup in each hand. Ines was at the kitchen counter scrolling her phone. Rainer walked across the rug and licked May across the mouth. Once. Slow, deliberate. May didn't react. She kept holding the cups, eyes fixed on a point about a meter past the dog's right shoulder. Ines looked up. Rainer. No. He licked her again. Ines crossed the room and pulled the dog back by his collar. She wiped May's mouth. May looked at her slowly and then resumed stacking cups. He's never done that, ever. Ines was talking to her husband on the phone 15 minutes later. He's getting weird with her. Her husband said something reasonable. She didn't hear it. By Sunday, Rainer had licked May 4 more times. He always did it after she had been holding still for a moment too long. Ines started counting. She started keeping a list. She told her sister, who was a behavior consultant, and her sister said the word redirected and the word predatory and the phrase trial period of separation. Ines wrote it down. By Monday morning, she had made the appointment with a veterinary behaviorist. She told her husband at breakfast, he's not safe around her. He's reading her like prey. Her husband, who had not slept well, said, whatever you think. That afternoon, Ines put Rainer in the backyard. She closed the sliding door. She watched him sit down on the patio and stare at the door, not at her, not at the yard, at the door. He sat that way for 3 hours. He did not whine. He did not bark. He just watched. May was on the rug. Ines was on the couch. May was holding a stacking cup. She had been holding it for 2 minutes without moving. 2 minutes is a long time for a toddler. Ines noticed that. She would think about it later, how she almost walked past it. She knelt down in front of her daughter. May's eyes were open. Her right hand was making a small repetitive motion against the side of the cup. Her left hand was still. Her lips were faintly twitching at the corners. Ines snapped her fingers in front of May's face. May did not blink. If you stay for stories about what animals notice before we do, you're in the right place. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one. The pediatric neurology resident at the Children's Hospital was named Dr. Mikolaj Escherich. He pulled up the video Ines had taken on her phone while waiting for the EEG technician. He watched it twice. He didn't say anything for 30 seconds. This is an absence seizure, maybe 10 to 15 seconds long. Classic presentation, childhood absence epilepsy. You just saw this one. The others probably looked like daydreaming. How long has she been zoning out like that? Ines did not answer. The EEG that afternoon confirmed 3 per second spike and wave activity bilaterally. Dr. Escherich estimated May had been having 40 to 60 seizures a day for at least 3 weeks. Untreated childhood absence epilepsy, he said carefully, has a small but real risk of developing into something more severe. You caught this earlier than most parents, he said. How did you know to film her today? Has your animal ever done something you couldn't explain until it was the only thing that made sense? Tell us in the comments. These stories deserve to be heard. Inez drove home in the dark. May was asleep in the back seat. Inez opened the back door of the house and stepped out onto the patio. Rainer was still sitting where she had left him 3 hours earlier. He stood up when she opened the door. He did not look at her. He walked past her into the house, directed to the rug where May had been sitting. He sniffed the spot. He sat down on it. Every guardian deserves to be recognized, even the ones who watched through a glass door for 3 hours. If stories like this matter to you, subscribe so you never miss the next one. Inez sat on the floor beside him, the lick across the mouth. Not predatory. He had been waking her up. The dog had been doing what shepherds do, bringing the small one back into the world the moment she drifted out of it. The list she had kept. Every lick had been a seizure she hadn't seen. Raynor put his chin on Inez's knee. She put her hand on the top of his head. They stayed that way until her daughter cried out for water from her bed upstairs. And May was 26 months old and present and back. Tomorrow there's another one about a Labrador who paced a baby's crib for 40 minutes before the carbon monoxide alarm should have triggered.